Hey friends, this month I've been answering all of your frequently asked questions about kids and snacks. And today I'm answering this question about nighttime snacks. Should you be offering your child a snack before they go to bed? And I will just preface this by saying that there is not a one size fits all answer to this question. I wish there was, just to make it easier for you. But it really does depend on your individual family and your circumstances and your schedule. But I do want to give you three things to consider to determine if it is appropriate to fit in a bedtime snack for your child. So first thing that you want to look at, and I'm just looking at my notes here, is timing. So timing around dinner and bedtime. So usually if there is somewhat of a, good gap between dinner, the last meal of the day, and then the time that your child goes to bed, if that gap is more than an hour and a half, 2 hours, I would consider incorporating a bedtime snack. And that is just because kids typically need to eat about every couple of hours. And, if they've had their meal and you're still up for a little while, like maybe your family has dinner a little earlier and it's still a little bit of time before you put your kids to bed, you might consider plugging in a nighttime snack as part of their night routine. So maybe you have your nighttime snack together at the table, and then you brush teeth and read a book, and then do all the things and put them to bed. And of course, this can vary too. Like I know in our family, some days we do have dinner earlier for whatever reason. It's just like how the schedule worked out. Most of the time we end up having dinner a little bit later. And then, bedtime is pretty soon after that. So we won't offer a nighttime snack in that case. So timing of dinner can be a big factor to look at if you're trying to decide whether or not you should go ahead and plug in a nighttime snack. Again, if it's been more than an hour and a half or 2 hours between the time you have dinner and between the time your child is going to bed, consider plugging in a nighttime snack and making that part of their routine. Another thing to consider is how your child is responding to food. And so what I mean by this is, if, for example, your child is waking up in the middle of the night and asking to eat something, or if right away when they wake up in the morning, they're just like, I want to eat, they're already, kind of anxious about eating and saying they're really hungry as soon as they wake up in the morning, that could also be an indicator that they may need that extra eating opportunity at the end of their day. So that could be another factor to consider, plugging in that nighttime snack and then letting them go to bed and ensuring that, okay, this is one more opportunity for them to eat what their bodies need, and then sending them to bed after that. So that can be something else to look at. And then last thing to consider is just kind of how your child ate during the course of the day. If they did get regular opportunities to have their meals and snacks, and let's say that you did give them ample opportunities to eat, they had a morning snack, they had an afternoon snack, they had 3 solid meals, that could be something to consider too. But if it was just like a crazy day and some snacks or meals kind of fell to the wayside, or you're traveling, or, things are just a little more chaotic, then you definitely may want to consider including a nighttime snack just to help, again, stabilize their appetite. Maybe they didn't get to eat what they needed during the course of the day, and you can just offer that kind of last opportunity before they go to bed. So if you are offering a nighttime snack, I would love to share just a couple tips that might help you with this too. So I encourage parents to be the one to decide whether or not you're going to offer the snack. Usually, sometimes what I see is that parents are like waiting for their kids to ask them, but that can be tricky because sometimes kids learn that if they ask for a nighttime snack, that can delay bedtime, right? Like they know, okay, if I ask for a snack, that's going to postpone the amount of time, or, how much time I still have left before I have to go to bed. So I like to decide, whether or not I'm going to offer before we even get to that point, because then that way I can take more initiative and be more proactive about it and say, like when it's been like an hour and a half after dinner, okay, guys, we're going to have a snack before we go to bed. And I kind of put a couple things out on the table for my kids. And if they want to eat it, they can eat it. If not, they don't have to. And I just don't really make a big deal about it. So that can be a good way to approach it, where you're the one in charge and you're the one taking the initiative and deciding like whether or not you're going to make that part of your routine for the night. And remember, like this can change from one day to the other. Maybe some days you decide to offer it and other days you don't. And for me, a big deciding factor on offering a nighttime snack is when we have dinner. So if dinner tends to be really late, again, I don't offer it. But if I know, okay, we're already having an early dinner and we're going to be up for a little bit, I'll take the initiative to offer and be the one to decide. And the important thing too is not to hyper focus on how your child's eating at dinner to determine whether or not you're going to offer them a snack. So sometimes, it can be easy to look at what our child's eating at dinner time. And for a lot of parents, if we see that our child didn't really eat that much, or we're worried about, how much they ate, that sometimes is like a deciding factor in our mind of whether or not we should offer a nighttime snack. But I would encourage you to look more at the timing, like the timing of dinner and bedtime, and to offer it regardless of what your child did at dinner time, if that makes sense. And then my last little tip here is when you are offering a bedtime snack, consider offering something that's filling, not thrilling. So what I mean by that is sometimes kids associate certain foods with snacking. And typically that can be like what we consider snack foods, like anything that comes in a crinkly package that's super fun and exciting to open. And, it's like it becomes a thing, right? And not that there's anything wrong with those foods. If you've watched other videos, I'm a huge advocate for incorporating the foods that our kids are showing a high interest in. However, I don't think bedtime snack is the best time for that. I think there's other opportunities that we can plug those in. So, offer something that your child would eat if they were hungry, something that would be filling for them, but that's kind of boring, So for our family, that usually looks like fruit and milk, or like toast with peanut butter and milk. Really simple things that, again, I usually just prep it really quick, put it on the table. And then if my kids are hungry, I know they'll eat it. If they're not hungry, I know they'll pass on it. So that's one thing to consider too, if you're trying to navigate, like, should I offer a bedtime snack? If you're not sure, I would err on the side of caution and just offer a bedtime snack. But then again, consider offering something that will be filling for them, but again, not thrilling, not something that they just want to eat because they're excited about opening the bag or opening the box or all those things. So I hope this helps. I know it's a lot of information. I do have a blog post that I'll link for you if you're looking for some more help in this area. And as always, feel free to leave any questions in the comments below. All right, take care.